Hello, hello, lovely ladies. Welcome to today's session with our next amazing speaker and expert, Moira Ni Ghallachoir. Hello, Moira. How are you today?
Hi, Raymunda. Hi, everyone. Great to be here.
I am so excited to have you here. Your sessions are always super powerful. You have been actually on our summit, I believe, last year and delivered an amazing opening session. And this year you are a VIP speaker for the Women Thrive Summit. So I'm very, very excited to have you here for this powerful session. So what are we going to be covering today, Laura?
We're going to be looking at everything to do with speaking, but specifically, I'm going to dive into 5 ways that you can use speaking to get clients, awesome clients, high-paying clients, and travel the world if you're adventurous like me, or stay at home with your family and treat them to beautiful things and lots of time with you, whatever your choice is. But we're going to dig into all of that. So it's going to be brilliant.
Oh, I can't wait. And the first time we connected, you actually lived in Bali.
That's right. The last year when I did this session, or when I was on this, it was really late at night in Bali. It was, that feels like so long ago, and I can't wait to get back to Bali, actually.
I know, me too. I can't wait to go and visit there. So for those of you who haven't met Moira Ni Ghallachoir yet, so Moira, she helps entrepreneurs, she shows entrepreneurs a powerful pathway to enrolling more clients, making way more money, and having a globe-trotting lifestyle without the complicated strategies, so they can finally enjoy the success and the freedom they started in their business in the first place. Moira, it's over to you. I want to give you the center stage. I know the ladies today are going to get so much value from you. Ladies, please leave a comment in the chat. Let us know, introduce yourself. Let us know where in the world you're joining us from and if speaking is actually on your agenda right now. Can't wait to hear from you. Moira, it's over to you.
And just one thing, I have permission to share, Ramonda, right? Okay, perfect. Okay, so how many of you here want to get out there and start speaking more? I want you to start blowing up the chat and say, me. If this is you, if it's really in your heart to get on big stages and impact lots of people, let me know. And how many of you want to add an additional 6 figures to your bottom line so that you can live a bigger, better lifestyle anywhere in the world? And how many of you want to do this sooner rather than later, so that you can get to your goals and live a bigger life for longer, right? How many of you are just done waiting for something amazing to happen and you're ready for things to happen right now? Well, if that's you, you are in the right place, not just at my talk, but at Ramunda's event. This is going to be awesome. But how many of you would agree that learning is earning? So I know I'm among a whole lot of learners here. So how many of you say me, I agree, tap yourself on the chest and say, I agree, that learning is earning, that we're always either learning or earning in our businesses. Now, personally, I prefer to be doing both at one time, but I'm always mindful that I'm doing always one. If I'm not earning, I'm learning. If I'm not earning, I'm learning, all of that, right? But you know that research actually shows that if you just sit passively, like you would in school, right? Just sit there, and we all know we didn't pay as much attention as we should have in school, where information literally will go in one ear and out the other. And then your retention is going to be about 10%. Well, how about we bring that up to a really cool 90% in this session today? Raise your hands, or give me a wave. I know I can't see you, or say me in the chat. If you're going to be one of these people who takes notes, who answers the questions, right? Who shouts answers, even if I can't hear you, I'm going to be asking you to really be with me in this. I don't want this to be, just another conversation or another presentation. I want this to be a conversation, right? And that means that I'm going to need your participation. Right? So the key word here is your participation, and not just in this session, in every single session that you go to as part of this Women Thrive Summit, right? So are you committed to participating full out and playing full out in the time that we have together? I want you to put a yes in the chat if that's you. Let me see you. I want to see who the players are and who's really up for this. And sit right up on your chair, right? Put your shoulders back, wiggle your bum a little bit, get the energy going, and tap yourself in the chest and say, I'm committed. I am really committed to me. Right? So this is one of my absolute favorite topics to talk about. So let me just see if I can change the view to speaker view so you can fully see me. Okay, doesn't look like I can do that. Change it back to gallery view. This is my favorite topic to talk about because this is what I've lived over the last like 7 odd years that I've been speaking, but it wasn't always like that, right? So I'm going to share with you more about how I started and all of that. But how many of you would agree that it's hard to get where you want to go with your business, with your life, with anything, unless you're clear and honest about where you are now, right? And being clear and honest with the most important person in your life, which is you. You're the most important person to be honest with, right? So say me, I'm honest with me, right? Always. Because I can help you get there with what I'm sharing today. I can inspire you. I can do all of those things. But if you're not honest about where you are, it's going to be a lot harder, right? And I'm asking you to do this because this is what my mentor showed me to do way back when I started my business, right? And I'm going to ask you a question right now. I want you to be really honest, and there's no shame in this. This is just about being honest with you. If you want to share your numbers, when I share this with you, let me know, right? And then I will keep an eye on the chat so I can stay on top of who's chatting to me and who's really playing. And just quickly, I see Jessica, Iman, Nikki. Hi, Nikki. Nikki's got an awesome talk coming up for you guys. Ramunda and Usha, thank you so much for being with me. And thank you so much for already playing out, not just for me, for you, right? So let's look at where you are, right? So on a scale of 1 to 10, right? And I want you to be honest here. When it comes to enrolling clients, making money, speaking, when it comes to those things, where are you on a scale of 1 to 10? Now, before you put the answers in the chat, I want to first share with you this quick story. One of my friends, he was working for Tony Robbins. He was one of his best trainers and speakers for years. And his girlfriend was at the event that Tony was presenting. And beside her, Oprah Winfrey was sitting. How many of you would like to be sitting beside Oprah Winfrey at an event? Well, Tony asked a similar question to what I'm going to ask you now in terms of how much are you living into your potential today in your business? And my friend's girlfriend turned around to Oprah and said, so where are you? You're like one of the biggest public figures and speakers and presenters in the world. Like, where are you on a scale of 1 to 10? Anybody want to guess what Oprah said on a scale of 1 to 10, where she was? Let's see. Anybody would just want to guess, like put a number in to see what you think that Oprah said? Okay, so Nikki says 7. Come on, keep them going. Just pump the numbers in. Let's keep this flowing. Oh, Ramunda says 10. Imen says 6. On a scale of 1 to 10, okay, Mila, you're very close with 1, and Osha 7. Oprah Winfrey said that she was a 3 on a scale of 1 to 10, and what she knew she was capable of, and she was only at a 3. So when I ask you this question, I want you to be really honest with yourself. 1 being is not doing that well, 10 being I'm rocking it out of the park. Where are you on a scale of 1 to 10 right now with your ability to enroll clients at will for your business, make the money that you want, speak on stages? So if you want to start being really super honest, just let's get this going in the chat. Okay, so we got some 1s, which is thank you so much for being so honest about that, Osha. And Amen is a 5. You're kind of halfway there. I love that. Nikki's a good honest 3, but you're definitely on your way up, Nikki. Mila's a 2. I love that. So it's really important that we always look at this, and even like on a day-to-day basis, asking yourself how committed you are on a scale of 1 to 10. And often we can be so stuck in stories that are going on in our mind that hold us back, that we don't like do super simple things to help ourselves get out of our own way. And how many of you know that you need to get out of your own way? Say me in the chat if you know that sometimes you just need to get out of your own way, right? But all of you have a great system right now to get to where you are, right? So now the question becomes, if this is where you are, how are you going to get to where you want to be? And I firmly believe that you can get there by speaking. So you can be seen as an authority, fill your program with clients, travel the world, speaking on stages, remote working in places like Bali or Valencia or wherever you want. And how many of you want to fill your programs with awesome clients, right? Let me know, say me, tap yourself in the chest and say me, put it in the chat. If you want to fill your programs with awesome clients, right? Nikki does, of course. Osha does, absolutely. Jessica, yes, yes, yes. Let's fill those with clients. And I do believe that the fastest way that you're going to do that is speaking. And if you're speaking already, this is going to open your mind to other possibilities. And if you haven't decided that you are going to be speaking, you're going to be blown away by what's possible when it comes to speaking. So I've created this presentation. It's called How to Use Speaking to Travel the World, Enroll Great Clients, and Live a Globetrotting Lifestyle. And to help you do that, I want you to walk away with a plan, okay? But before I dive into that, just want to like bring your attention to one thing, like why speaking and why now? Why would now be the time for you to really start speaking more, right? Well, in my opinion, never before have we ever had access to the volume and quality of people that we do now. Everyone is online. And right now, right in this minute, there's people looking for what you have to offer, Nikki. There's people looking to what you have to offer, Jessica. There's people out there looking for transformation, literally. And they're coming to events like this. They're looking for your solution, especially with COVID having, come along and shone a big light on all the problems that we're all having, right? And not just to sell to them, but to influence them and inspire them to get the changes that they need in their lives, right? People want real, regular people. Ramonda knows this. She's really great at putting a lineup of speakers together, not just famous people, not celebrities. I actually think that being an entrepreneur is a new type of celebrity. And this is a $20 billion industry that we're all working in, right? And people just want to know that you've been through some stuff that they've been through, so you get them. People want to be got. People want to know that you understand them. And of course, you can make a huge income from speaking as well. I've closed, close to $2 million in sales from speaking now. Even saying that out loud makes me like, oh my God, I've done that. Yes, I've done that. But a big problem I see is that entrepreneurs struggle with just having one strategy that they can rely upon to get clients every month. So they end up learning all sorts of different things, a bit of this, the latest tactic, the latest trend. So it can feel like you're working so hard, but there's way too little coming in. Or maybe, some of them are speaking now, but they think that just speaking means that clients are going to come running, and it doesn't work like that. You've got to know how to monetize those stages. Right? You've got to know how to monetize the stage that you speak on, so you don't waste a lot of time figuring it out. Hands up who doesn't want to waste any more time. Say, not me in the chat. Say, I don't want to waste any more time. I want to get to where I want to go. I want a clear plan and strategy. Can anybody relate to what I'm saying here? Let me know. Say me in the chat. Okay, great. Okay, Manja, awesome. I love that. So before I dive into the content, I just want to be really honest with you about something. And I know that sometimes, you can look at speakers and be like, oh, they're so good at that, or they've done this loads and all of this. But let me tell you, I come from a very small town with less than a population of 5,000 people. And when I started my business, I didn't know how to get clients. I didn't know how to do social media. I didn't know about websites. I knew a bit about writing. And, growing up, the words I heard the most was shut up. Shut up, Moira. Leave the classroom. Get out of here. You've said too much. Don't say that. I was constantly in trouble for talking too much. It was like as if I could be seen, but I couldn't be heard. Let me know in the chat if you can relate to that. So by the time I was in secondary school or high school, if you're from America, I was thinking that I was cursed. I was always standing outside a classroom door. I was getting in trouble with friends for speaking my mind too much, or always having something to say. And this one particular day, I was standing in this really cold corridor with just a jumper and a shirt. And I was outside again for talking. I'd asked a question and he didn't like my question, etc. I was standing outside the door. And then I could hear these footsteps coming down the corridor. And I looked and I was like, oh no, it's him. It was this teacher who really hated me. He was always at me. And I tried to hide in the doorway. I was a lot bigger then. I was quite chubby when I was at school. And of course I couldn't hide. And he walked up and he was like, oh, there she is again, outside for talking too much. He goes, Moira, you're never going to make anything of your life if all you want to do is talk. I was like, he's right. I'm not going to make anything of my life. I'm doomed. Right? Well, thank God I didn't listen to that teacher. because today I'm an international speaker. I travel the world speaking on stages, and I show other women and a few good men how to do the same, because I believe that your voice is your ticket to freedom. Your voice is one of the most powerful marketing tools that you have. But and speaking can be this stunningly rewarding business, but it's not an easy one to navigate alone. You've got to know how it works. So in the time that we have, and there will be an opportunity to spend a little more one-on-one time with me at the end, if you're still here at the end, and a really cool resource, I want to lay out the key parts for how you can use speaking to get more clients. And if you want to travel the world, set yourself up in beautiful countries like Bali or Valencia or Paris or Australia, wherever you want, you can use it there. And equally, if you have a family and you want to stay at home, it'll just free up more of your time so that you can do that, right? So that's what I want to share with you. But I think it's really important that you guys understand why speaking is one of the highest paid jobs in the world and why you can make so much money from that. And yes, I think that there's a lot of misconceptions about it, but I want to really lay this out for you in a way that one of my mentors did, right? So you want to do better, you want to be better, you're in this Women Thrive Summit because you want more for your life. Like everybody say, I want more. So I want to really paint a picture of why speaking is such a really highly paid industry, and why. Would that be helpful? Let's say me in the chat if you would like to know how to do, or why it's one of the most highest paid. Okay, not sure. Okay, awesome. All right, cool. So there's 4 levels of value when it comes to the work that we do in this world, right? And the market dictates how much you're going to be paid depending on what level that you work at, right? So I'm going to lay these 4 levels of value out really quickly for you. This is from one of my mentors, Moira Ni Ghallachoir. It's in his book. It's so awesome. But this for me really just sealed the deal on why speaking is so powerful. And this is especially if you want to speak more. So really, we're looking at a ladder here, right? And right now, we want to get to the top of the ladder. Everybody want to get to the top of the ladder. If being at the top is going to be the best place to be, right? We all want to climb to the top, right? So this bottom part here, the lowest level of value that you can bring to the marketplace, right, is implementation. Okay, this is the lowest level of value that you can bring, and this is anything to do with your hands, right? So builders, plumbers, beauticians, and I love beauticians. I love all the things they do, but they use their hands, right? And hands up here, people who are real hard workers. I know that there's women here that are super hard workers, right? But we're really taught at school that work really hard, get a job, go to college, buy a house, all of that. But that's really a lie. That's not true. And then anybody notice that when you become an entrepreneur, you have to unravel all the things that you've been told because you realize that it's not true at all, right? But working harder doesn't equate wealth. It doesn't create wealth. So if you're at this implementation level, the market says that the cap of your earning is between 40 and 60K, right? So a standard job, right? And I know we all want to make more than 40 to 60K in a year, right? But that's the cap if you're at that level, right? So you want to be listening to this and thinking, I don't want to be at that level, or maybe you do, but it's really important to know, right? The second level is unification. And what unification means is unifiers. So these are managers, right? Managers in shops and organizations, the people that keep everything going, right? So the unifiers are trying to keep it all together. Now they're capped at between 60 and 250,000. That's all they're ever going to earn. And that's quite good if that's what you want, right? But you have to manage a lot of people. You're putting all of your energy into building somebody else's company, which is not necessarily what any of us want to do. If we're going to work hard, we want it to be for us. But the lie that the unifiers believe is that the key to wealth and the key to success is more education. They're thinking, if I could just get that other degree, if I could just get that other PhD, if I could just get that other certificate, I would have more money, I would earn more money, more people would want to work with me, or I would get, whatever it is that they want. But a big surprise, actually, that more education does not make you wealthy. Working harder doesn't make you wealthy, but working higher makes you wealthy. And what I want you guys to consider is how can you get to the top 2 levels that I'm going to share with you now. So we've got implementation at the bottom, we've got unification here, and then the second highest level, anybody want to guess what that is communication. The communicators. So think about actors, singers, salespeople, anyone who uses the spoken word to communicate, right? In society, there is an enormously highly perceived value at this level, right? And if you're here and you want to speak more, you want to get to this level as soon as possible. You want to adopt the identity of a powerhouse communicator, an amazing communicator, and start telling yourself that story now, that I am a powerful communicator. My words change people's lives, right? Start saying that to yourself and adopt this identity, because the level of earnings that you can get at this level, does anybody want to guess? Anybody want to put in the chat what your levels of earning are at in the top 2 levels? Anybody want to just put some numbers in for fun? I'll start writing this in. Okay, so your level of earning here is 100,000 starting all the way to 100 million. So authors, speakers, salespeople, this is where they're at and this is where they're playing. And it's all about how they communicate with the world, right? This is why audiobooks are such an amazing idea, right? Now, anybody want to guess what is at the top level? Anybody want to guess? We've got 4, we're at the top level now. Anybody want to guess? So the top level, this is like the pinnacle is imagination, right? So working with your imagination. So this, guess who sits in this category? Anybody want to guess? The Elon Musks of the world, the Steve Jobs of the world. Apple is worth 3 trillion. 3 trillion. Like dollars, that's like thousands of millions. Like, think about that. But their ideas are changing the world. Like the Airbnbs, the Ubers, all of this, right? And it's changing the market. So you want to be at the top 2 levels. You want to be at a level where you can start like knowing that you're in the right path, that you can get to 1 million and beyond, right? How many of you want to get to $1 million and beyond? Right? You're going to get that if you're operating at the top 2 levels of value. You're going to be on the path to get there, but you want to get out of this implementation and this unification level as soon as you can. And that can be just a decision, right? So you need to do whatever you need to do right now to go to those top 2 levels immediately, right? And then focus on those top 2 levels. And this is not about working harder. This is about working higher, right? This is about working higher, right? If you think about Think and Grow Rich, right? It doesn't say work hard and go rich. It says think and grow rich, right? The highest level of value, right? And even if you think about Henry Ford, like everybody told him he was crazy trying to create what he wanted to create, but he got the implementers, he got the unifiers, he got the communicators, and his invention is now one of the biggest companies in the world and has been for time, right? And there are even laws of science that said what he was trying to do couldn't be done. Elon Musk is sending rockets to the world and creating all sorts of like things up there. I mean, really, God knows what's going on up there, right? Right. Again, with Elon, he imagined the electric car, and he got people out there selling it for him, right? And then he got the unifiers in to manage and the implementers to build. Like, think about that, right? And you can start speaking this into existence, right? So now, if you're going to operate at the 2 highest levels of value in the marketplace, then you're going to have to start communicating at a higher level, right? Because we all want to get to the imagination point. Communicating about your own value. Your own what? Somebody say value in the chat. Communicating about your own amazing, priceless value. How you help people. Right? What you want to create, the gift you want to bring to the world, right? Who you are in your essence, right? Who you are. Well, you know that there's one thing that's going to help you do that more than anything, and it's one thing it's something you can't overlook if you really want to do this. Anybody want to guess what that is while I switch over to my slides and show you Anybody want to guess what is the one thing? Let me see. Okay. Let me open this slide deck and press share. Not a technical masterpiece by any means. Oh, I've got disabled sharing. I mean, I don't have to show it, but if somebody can fix the sharing so that I can share my slide on the next point, that would be great. But anyway, I'm going to share it. But thank you so much, Raminda, for saying this is really powerful. I hope you guys are enjoying it. So if you want to operate at the top 2 levels of value at communicator level, well, and especially if you want to be a speaker, well, the first thing you're going to need is a powerful message. Everybody say powerful message into the chat right now. It is literally impossible for you to get out into the marketplace and try and impact people's lives if it's not clear on how you help people and what value that you're bringing, and it needs to be communicated in your message, right? So hear this, the money and the meaning is in the message. Write this down, let this be a golden nugget for you. If you're not sure about your message, if you're one of these people who's spending sleepless nights thinking about it, because I know that this can be really, really tough for people, write it down that the money and the meaning is in your message, right? And one of the biggest problems that I see that people are doing when it comes to their message is this. Let me share my screen now so that you can see my slide. Can you guys see? Somebody let me know if you can see. Chat. Yes, yes, yes. Woo-hoo-hoo! Okay, we did it. We did the transfer over to the slide so I can show you about your message. And we've got it all on like a fancy screen now. Awesome. So the money and the meaning is really in the message. And let this really take this on board, because if you have a really powerful message, you can get hired like that. Okay. And how many of you want to get hired like that? Of course you do. Right. So you simply have to have something to say that's going to impact your audience in a big way. Your message should move people, right? But here's what your message is not. Your message is not a laundry list of all of your credentials, of everything you do, of all of your modalities, of all of your education. That is not what your message is, right? And if you're trying to communicate your message in a way that people understand it, then you're making a big mistake. People don't need to understand your process or what you do. They need to understand what's in it for them. Everybody say what's in it for them. Say what's in it for them in the chat for me right now. That's what needs to happen. Your message is not for you. Your message is for the people who need you, and they speak an entirely different language. Anybody notice that, or like the clients speak a different language? Well, here's the biggest problems that I see with this. Most of you are talking about your process. And when you're talking about your process, it goes over your clients' heads. They can't get it, right? But they're an expert in their problems and the pain that they're in and the dreams that they have, right? You want to become an expert in the outcome of what your clients want, right? You want to be lying in bed obsessing about what your clients want, about the problems that they have. And then when you start talking and speaking that into the marketplace, people will start going, oh my God, she's speaking to me. That's me, that's me, that's me. And if they're saying that's me, they're going to be booking calls with you. They're going to be raising your hand. They're going to be jumping over to your links, right? But most entrepreneurs have this fluffy type of convoluted conceptual language that doesn't make sense to the clients that they want. And then they wonder why they're not getting clients, right? So I'm going to run through some quick examples of what a good message looks like. So first of all, you might be a branding expert or something like that. And you might say that I help entrepreneurs create websites with a great identity, or that reflect their identity. But actually, what you really do is you help super specific, mission-driven female entrepreneurs instantly attract clients online, so they make more money and are seen as experts in their field, even if they struggle with sales. Crisp, clear, specific outcome. So if somebody's hearing that, which one of these people would you hire? Would you hire somebody who's going to give you a website that reflects your brand identity, or you go for the person who's going to instantly help you attract clients online, right? And another one, I help female entrepreneurs transition to a successful mindset using mindset techniques, which is great, but that's your process, and that's not what people want. Mindset is a process, but really you can help people dissolve the doubt, double their sales in record time, even if they hate sales. Can you see the difference in the languaging? One is just a description and one is a really powerful message. And for me, I could go around saying, I can help you become a confident public speaker, which I can, but the confidence I believe comes fast with when you make money, not when you learn all these techniques about speaking. But actually, I help savvy entrepreneurs to build a top-tier income from speaking and fill their programs with awesome clients fast. Are you starting to see the difference? Say, I am, if you're starting to see the difference in the chat. Say, I am, I'm seeing it. Let me know, right? But remember this, the money and the meaning is in the message, right? Okay, so Jessica is, and Nikki is, awesome, I love it. So think about this for yourselves for a second. What could you say that could have people say, oh my God, I want that right now. That's me, I need that, right? Or what could you say that would make somebody say, oh my God, my community needs your message. Oh my gosh. Or I love this one, when somebody leans in and they say, how do you do that? That's when you know you have a great message. And with this virtual opportunity that we have, if you're introducing yourself in groups and people are not reacting in any way, like I mean leaning in or anything when you're saying your message, it might mean that you don't have a fantastic message, that there's something in that that's not really clicking with the clients that you're trying to attract. And the two golden words that you want to hear when you share your message is you're hired. I spoke at an event in Sweden about a year or so ago. I spoke for about 2 minutes, not joking. I literally came off the stage. A woman marched up to me, took me by the arm, sat me down. She goes, I need to hire you. And I was just like, wow, the power of a great message. That's what it can do for you. Okay. So, and speaking of Sweden, one of my clients, Sana, this woman is so amazing. She's like this transformational coach, an aspiring speaker, awesome. But no matter what she did, she couldn't get past this certain level of earnings. And it was because her prices were off. She wasn't valuing what she had to offer. She wasn't messaging the outcome of what she had to offer. And when we turned that around, within weeks, she had a 50K month. This is financial sovereignty in the making, because now this woman knows how to do this over and over again, right? Often when we learn that when we do something, it's like, what do I do now? No, you keep doing it again. And that's why I love speaking, because you just get better and better and better as you speak, right? So that's Sana's story. So now you might be thinking, that's great, Moira, but how do you get out there and use your voice? Tell me more about how this works, okay? Okay, so speaking works in many different ways. I'm going to dive into the way that I've used it. And there's actually, this is a way that you can use speaking, right? You can use it as a summit, things like that. But most people know of the keynote model. And the keynote model is great. It wouldn't be my first choice, because generally you have to have a lot of experience to get to the keynote model, unless you're paying for the stage. And I don't advise that you pay for stages until you know that you can close from stage. So then that's when you see like big speakers, like, speaking for 90 minutes, maybe some of them are selling, maybe some of them are being paid thousands, like Mel Robbins makes 55,000 from one stage. I'm going to show you how to make 120,000 at the end of this by following the strategy that I'm going to share with you. So there's a lot of money that can be made from this, but often you just need to know how it works, right? There's panel stages, there's your own stage. And your own stage would be doing Facebook Lives, would be doing webinars, would be doing trainings, podcasts. If you have a podcast, all of that's creating your own stage, and you can make any offer you want on your own stage. So I love that. And then there's my favorite, that I started finding these free stages in my local area, guys, on my doorstep that I didn't know existed, and started making between 5,000, 10,000, and then it went to 50,000 and beyond. And I didn't stop when I realized that this one strategy, this one way of using speaking was going to change my business, and it was going to change my life. I call it the free gigs method. And basically what that means is you find a free opportunity to speak, you make a free offer, and your money is made on the back end, all right? Super simple, and you don't have to be super famous. And I guarantee you that there are opportunities right now in your inbox, on your social media right now, that you don't realize, okay? So I'm going to show you how you can get those as well, right? So basically this means you speak for free, you're not paid, and then you can offer something of value so that people in the audience that want that will let you know, and then you can make money on the back end. Is that clear? Is that clear? Okay, Sue, I'm glad you're enjoying this. I love that. But one of the biggest problems that I see when it comes to getting booked, let me know, say the word booked into the chat right now. I want to get booked. I'm going to tell you right now how many of you are not booked out. And when I tell you this, you're going to be like, what? Right? Just like, let me know in the chat if you want to get booked. I can tell you right now that one of the biggest reasons that you're not getting booked is you are not asking for the opportunities, right? You don't know where to ask, or maybe you don't know how to ask, or worse, you're waiting to be asked. We don't wait, ladies. Do you think that leaders wait around and wait for like phones to ring and for things to happen? No, they go for it. And that's what you need to do if you want to be a powerful speaker. If you want to get to the top 2 levels of value, you don't wait to be asked, right? Now, asking is not that easy, right? And I get it, right? But in your business, you should be always asking for the same thing so that you get good at asking. You know, I was in New York a couple of years ago. I was speaking on stage with Les Brown. Love Les. And I was so excited about speaking at the event. I was at the venue. I was all ready. It was like one of my first international gigs. And just about an hour before my talk was due to go on, I realized that I had forgotten my shoes at the hotel. I was just like, oh gosh, are you serious? So I ran outside, I got my phone out and I called Uber. Everybody knows the amazing car sharing service Uber, right? So I call Uber and I'm waiting and the guy pulls up super fast. So I was really impressed. But when I saw the car, I was just like, are you serious? It was this like beat out Honda. The only thing that was missing from it was like a tin can coming off the back. And I was just like, oh my God. So I get into the car. The driver's so nice. He's like, where are you from? What are you doing here? Oh, I love your accent. And I'm just like, can we go? I'm like, oh my God, I've got to get back. So anyway, I go to get out of the car at the destination and the Uber driver turns to me and he goes, thank you, ma'am. He goes, oh, one more thing. And I says, yes. I was like, I'm in a hurry. And he goes, can you give me a 5-star rating? I said, what? He goes, can you give me a 5-star rating? I was like, why? He goes, well, did I not take you where you wanted to go? Was it not a pleasant ride? And I was like, yeah. He goes, I'm trying to boost my score. And I was like, wow, okay. So I got out of the car. I gave the guy a 5-star rating. Why did I do that? Why did I do that? I did it because he asked for it. And he asked in a way that he expected. He expected that 5-star rating. He was a beat out Honda driving around with a 5.5 average, right? He mastered the ask for his business. Now, I know there's a risk in asking. There's a risk that you might get rejected. There's a risk that might say no, but guess what? Business is a risk. You don't get into business and not be willing to take risks, but there's a bigger risk here. If you're not asking for the opportunities, you're risking your business failing. You're risking the people that need you never finding you. And that is a much bigger risk. I took a risk. I was a youth worker living in London, making 30,000 a year. I had a wall in my life around about 36. So I was like, I don't want this. I want to leave here. I moved back home to Ireland in the middle of a recession and started with nothing. But I started asking everybody in my hometown, what do you need help with? How can I serve you? What's going on? And from doing that, literally within years of doing that, I had a multiple 6-figure business, because what was more important to me, that I would be on purpose and I would serve the people that needed me to serve. And along that way, I discovered speaking. And at that stage, I was like, so then you just have to ask for the gigs? And they're like, yeah. And I didn't get every gig I asked for, but I guarantee you that if you start asking for them, there are opportunities right now that you could be asked for. Don't wait to be asked, right? You do the asking. You are the leader in your business. Does that make sense? Say, I'm the leader. I'm the leader in my business. Say it in the chat. Own it right now. Say it out loud. I am the leader in my business. I ask. And if you ask in a way that, you know, you're so used to asking, you're going to get more yeses, but you will not get booked if you're not asking, right? Now, the other problem is most of you don't know how to monetize the stage that they speak on. And they think, again, that just speaking is going to bring loads of clients. It doesn't work like that. It can, but really in the beginning, you've got to know some really key things. And I'm going to dive more into this. Let me know if you're enjoying this. Let me know if you're taking notes, if you're getting value. Say, I am in the chat, right? Like, tell me that you are. Tell me that this is helping you. Let me know in the chat. Okay, it's good for Jessica, for Shannon. Awesome. Shannon is up next, I believe. Crystal, Nikki, I love it. I love it. I love it. I love it. And Nikki's got a great talk for you all. Okay, so right now, grab your pens and do this one thing for me, right? And it might take, like, you might be surprised how easy this happens, but I just want you to list out 5 people or places that you could ask for a speaking opportunity. Don't overthink it. Don't overthink it. Just write it down. Like, just places you've been recently that had speakers, and you maybe thought to yourself, I could do that. I could speak on that stage. Okay, so write it down right now, because those are the gigs that you're going to get booked sooner rather than later. And just by asking, you're probably going to open up other opportunities. And the last point I'm going to share is how you can make sure that those opportunities never end. So stay tuned for that. Okay, so I want to share with you about my client, Susan. You know, before I worked with Susan had never spoken before. She was quite quiet, and she was like, you know, I'm not sure if I can do this. But one of the things that was wrong was she didn't have a great message. She wasn't sure. She didn't have one strategy that was working. So what we did, we created a really powerful message, turned it into a talk, created a new offer. Susan asked in her local area, her chamber, if she could do a talk. Now, everybody's familiar with the chamber. This is not rocket science. They booked her to speak. And in that one gig, after we did that, there was less than 12 people at the event. She closed 15,000 in new business. Do you have any idea how long it would take Susan to grow her profile as a speaker to get paid 15,000? But she got 15,000 in new business. And what happened was she started to get referrals from that 15,000. She started to get other opportunities from that 50,000, and the confidence that she got from that 15,000, right? And she could easily see, she was literally, Moira, so does that mean I do this 8 times and I'm crossing 6 figures? And I was like, yes, that's what this means, right? And she's no longer worried about how she's going to get her business. You know, her father was her accountant, and he said to her, like, whatever you're doing, you know, you need to keep doing it, because, you know, the first 6 months of the year you made 7,000, and in the second half of the year she made 40,000, and she's not going to stop now. Isn't that awesome? Like, give it up for, like, I just love seeing women really break through and realize what's possible and how much money that they can make. So let's talk about you and how much money you're going to make, right, Jessica? I love it. Amazing from Sue, and you're loving this so much. Carolina, thank you so much. I'm loving it as well, because I'm telling you, speaking is the fastest way to grow your business. How else could a girl from who nobody knew from, you know, a small town in Donegal be able to grow her business as fast as she did? Okay, so let's get down to the numbers and where is the money in this, okay? So I believe that most events, now I'm not blowing smoke, I'm not like, these are real numbers, right? So let's say you find an event, most events have about 20 people at it, right? And let's say you've got your free offer and about 6 people say yes to it. You're a little bit not sure about what you're doing in the beginning, but you have an offer that's 2,500. And if you're a coach or a consultant, you want to have an offer that's at least that much. And you get 1 sale. Well, who would be happy with getting 2,500 for presenting for like 30, 40 minutes, right? Of course you would. But what happens then is you take the same strategy, you find another room, right? Write this down. Everybody grab your pens, write this down right now. This is a nugget that will literally make this so much easier for you. You don't change your talk. You don't change who you are. You change the audience. You change the audience. It's the only thing you need to change. Right? This is going to really lighten the load and make things a lot easier for people. So let's say next you get an audience of 30 people, you're more confident. Now you've got an offer is 5,000 and you got a higher conversion on the back end. You get 3 sales, that's 15,000, right? So between the first talk and the second talk, you've now generated close to 20,000 in revenue. Now, do you want to know? Let me know in the chat if that's exciting. Okay, Jessica likes it. I'm glad you like my energy, Carolina. There's a lot of it, but this is my favorite topic in the world to speak about. So anybody want to know how to cross the 6-figure mark with this? Like, just like to lay it out for you crystal clear? Okay, so you take the same strategy. You find an event every month for 6 months. And if you want to collapse time and do this every week, you can. Like me, like When I discovered speaking, it took me about 2 years to create a multiple six-figure business, and people say it's fast. I was traveling all over Ireland. I was traveling all over the world doing that. Literally, you can close one room, go to another, close one room, go to another. So you can collapse time in a big way, but I want to be real, right? Because I know we all have busy lives and we have families, but I think this is realistic, more than realistic, right? You have a 10K offer, you get 2 clients every time you speak, and now not 10. Notice that there's some people, there's some coaches out there who like blow like all these numbers out, and it's crazy, but I'm talking 2. How many of you know that 2 clients is doable? Right? You get 2 clients, you have a 10K offer, now you have 120,000 a year. If you want to do that again, now you have $250,000. If you want to make $500,000, then you just double your price. It's the same thing done over and over. Now, what I love about this, right, this the way that you travel the world with this, you can like, you know, find places that you want to live and just deliver virtual presentations. You can be like me. I wanted to go to New York and find an event there. Like, it's the same thing done over and over. Rinse and repeat, rinse and repeat. The most successful people in the world, they rinse and repeat something that works over and over. Is that making sense? Let me know in the chat if this makes sense. Are you starting to see the income possibilities with speaking and how it could radically change the trajectory of your life and your business? Say, I can. Let me know in the chat. Say, I can see it. Okay. So I don't know if any of you know Sarah Gray. She's pretty famous right now. She's just crossed the 7-figure mark. But when she started working with me, I spoke at a local event, right? And she rocked up, and I could tell from her energy, she knew what she was doing. She really wanted success, but everything was upside down. Her pricing, her messaging, her package, her model. So we changed all of that. And literally within months of doing that, she 10x her income. And I've never seen anybody grow their business so fast. She's now a 7-figure business owner. She will go to multiple 7 figures this year. She's living in Spain. She just got married, right? But I met her speaking at a local event here in Ireland, right? Okay, so listen, now you know where you are, where you want to be, what's getting, or who you need to be. You know that the money and the meaning is in your message now. Make sure that you really get that. You know how to get paid from speaking. And I've also just walked you through the profit funnel from speaking. Now there's one final crucial step, but before I get to that, you know, I want you to know one thing about the women that I have just shared with you right now. None of this was handed to them on a silver platter. They have worked. They were really clear about what they wanted, but they were just like you, like 6 months before that. They weren't sure if it was possible for them. They weren't clear about what their message would be. They weren't sure how they were going to enroll clients. They didn't have anything to offer their audience, and they certainly didn't know how to get booked for gigs. And they didn't realize that there were gigs right now, right in front of them, that they could make 15, 20, 30,000 from, right? But what they did have, and this is key, they had a proven plan that would get them to their breakthrough and help them to where they are now, to their dreams. I really do believe I'm in the business of making dreams come true. We're in the business of making dreams come true. So if we're in the business of making dreams come true, what's your dream? Right? What is your dream? I'll share with you my dream, and I have had many dreams over the years from speaking. And one of my dreams was living and working remotely in Bali for 6 months, right? That's what I really wanted to do. And at that desk, and with that view, it kind of looks Photoshop, but there was no wall, like there's no walls in your house in Bali, but at that desk, I spoke at an event, and it took I spoke for about an hour, and that one event created 100,000 in revenue over the 12 months that followed. Like, if I only wanted to do one event that year and make 6 figures, that's all I would have had to do. Like, really think about this. Another dream that I had was like what I was telling you about New York. So when I did the event with Les Brown in New York, I invited my clients out there because I wanted to host a retreat for my clients there. The woman in the middle with the short black hair, she just started this year on 30,000 pounds. The person in the front, she's now written books. She has her own speaking organization. She's traveling the world, right? But one of the ones that just lights my heart up is, this is why it's so important, the work we do, what it can do for our family. This is my great aunt. She's 102 years old. 2 years ago, it was her 100th birthday, and it was just at the beginning of the pandemic. And when she was asked in Ireland, you know, you're at like, you know, it's a whole thing. I'm sure it is in your country too. But when she was asked what she wanted to do with this check for 2,500, the government or the president would give you, she was like, I want to go home to Moira, and I want to celebrate in Moira's house. And I live in her original home. It's a beautiful cottage. and she wanted to come home. Now, put this in perspective, she lived in a convent and had done for her entire life. For her to say at 100 years old, she wanted to travel across the country to come here. Well, I was just like, oh my God. But I was able to take 2 weeks off my work and just be there for her and plan the most amazing celebration with COVID in place. I had TV, I had the news here, I had one of her favorite singers here. It was like a week of, there was literally a row of people outside on the road just waiting just to come in to just wish her happy birthday. It was amazing. But these are the kind of things that our businesses is going to allow us to do for our family. And we want to get there sooner rather than later, right? Sooner, put in the chat right now, sooner rather than later. Okay, but I have had scores of moments like this and I don't want it to stop. We have to keep wanting more. We have to keep dreaming more, right? Nothing I've ever experienced can make things happen faster than speaking can. So let me ask you this. We're just about at the end of this presentation and I hope you've gotten a lot out of it. But right now, are you feeling more curious? You're like, that sounds like that's something. Are you like, I am so committed to doing this. Oh my God, I had no idea that you could do this. So if you are thinking like, I just want to know more, then I have something really cool for you. If you're literally right now thinking, I'm curious to know more about this. So what I've done is I've created this really awesome guide that's going to give you a jump start on avoiding mistakes. I've made these mistakes, guys, and they cost me thousands, right? So I listed it on this guide. If you can just implement one of those, if you have a speaking gig coming up, or if you have one coming up in the near future, this is going to save you so much time and energy. I'm putting a value of $97 on it. Obviously, it's complimentary for you guys here at the Amazing Summit. But yeah, I would say it's priceless, right? Because if Susan had made a mistake at the event she spoke at, she would have left 15,000 on the table. There's big money involved here, and we've got to really understand that, right? And I think that knowing what the mistakes are is going to help you do that. But if you are committed, if you're one of the women who are like sitting there going, oh my God, I want to do this. If it's really in your heart to speak and you're thinking, you know what, I want this sooner rather than later. And you're also thinking, I don't want 2022 to be like 2021 or 2020 or 2019 or maybe even 2018, and that you're ready to go faster, sooner, and you know you've got what it takes, but you're just not clear on what the exact path would be, and you want something more personalized, then for you, I have something really special. And if I want, I'm gonna share this now. My team are going to pop it in. I don't have one of these for everybody because I just don't have the time, and I haven't really offered this that much since I did the event with Raminda. But I love Raminda's event so much. I love her community. I love her work. I love the energy in here. So I'm going to offer 7 of these sessions, and basically this is a complimentary 6-figure speaker accelerator session. That is where we are going to get on a call together, and we are going to really get stuck in. We're going to roll up our sleeves and say, what's getting in the way of you getting on the stages you want? What's getting in the way of you making the money that you want? And together put a plan together that will accelerate your speaking success. You have to want to use speaking to grow your business for this session to work, right? So if this is you, the value is $997 for this type of session with me. There are 7 of them. I'll take the first 7 people who book, and then the calendar is going to be closed. So if that's you, and again, you want to go sooner, faster, rather than later, and you're really sick of just not knowing and trying to figure all of this out in the dark, and you know you're not getting any younger, and you want to get to your goals faster so they could be there longer, this could be for you. Guys, thank you so much. I hope that this has been really, really interesting. I hope I've given you ideas. I hope you're like, oh my God, I want to speak more. And please keep in touch with me. Let's follow each other on social media. I'd love to hear if there's any big takeaways, and I'm going to take this off share, and I think we might have a couple of minutes. I don't know. Raminda, are you there?
I am. I'm just seeing the chat blow up and all the ladies just like, oh my God, there are possibilities with speaking. And I love that you live that life of, taking yourself to all these amazing stages, taking opportunities. The one ask. Ladies, that alone was like, ask. Simple as that. And I applied this very same strategy a couple of weeks ago, and someone sent me an event link, and I said, do you look for speakers? And she said, yeah. So I spoke last night on Amazing Stage. So this works.
I love it. It works.
Yeah.
Amazing. Thank you, Tanel. I'm glad you really enjoyed that, and Iman as well. Thank you so much. So I know that Shannon is up next. So I think that if there's any questions that you want to ask me, I'm good, but I don't want to take up too much of your time.
Yes, what I'd love for you to do, and if you can, Moira, share your social media details. I'm sure you will be able to find it on Moira's page as well on the summit. Save yourself those links, and if you want to follow through, this is so generous of you to just offer some of these strategy calls. I told you, ladies, today is not just about inspiration, it's about practical things that you can implement right now. And some of these speakers have been opening up their diaries for you, opening up their courses, programs. And I know you also have a special goodie bag, a gift in our goodie bag as well for those who have upgraded their tickets.
Yes, I created this really awesome guide that lists out 11 ways that you can find your next or even your first speaking engagement using a lot of the things that I've shared here. So like literally strategies and tips on how you can get booked. So if you're a VIP, if you're not a VIP, upgrade to VIP, guys. If you want a VIP life, you've got to start with being a VIP in the moment. So grab that, and all the other speakers are going to be amazing as well.
Yeah, and I echo that. There's so much value that ladies have given out within the upgraded tickets, some of them, strategy sessions, courses, and all sorts to help you grow your business. So if you haven't upgraded your ticket, you probably want to do it before a panel session, because when you upgrade your ticket, you will be invited to participate on the panel yourself. So actually, this could be your speaking engagement tonight in just 1 hour after Shannon has finished speaking. So I'm excited, ladies, stick with us. We're going to be switching over to our next Zoom session. So the next session is by Shannon Sukhavati, and we're talking about calming your ego and fear to make highly successful choices in business and life. And Shannon has truly followed her gut feeling that saved her millions, that saved her business and many of her team's jobs. She's based out in California, and we're going to be having such a fabulous talk with Shannon coming up shortly. So switch over, grab yourself some tea, stretch your legs. And Moira, thank you for today. What a powerful session.
Yes, it was awesome. And just to finish, just a couple of seconds, if there's some people are asking the calls, the 6-figure speaker accelerator session, the value is $997, but it's complimentary if you're one of the first 7 people. Okay. And once the 7 are gone, they're gone. So there's a couple of people asking that in the chat. I just wanted to reiterate that so it was crystal clear for people. Okay.
Amazing. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much.
Incredible value. We'll see you again soon, Moira.
Bye.
Bye.